Hello and welcome. This is part of our Linux series. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a website using LAMStack. LAMStack stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So what are these? These four together are actually the building blocks that you need to build your website. But of course, before all of that, you need a server where these things can run on. So let's say you have a physical server. You have a physical server here. That's your physical server, and in that physical server you have to install an operating system. The operating system we're selecting here is, let's say, Linux, and in this case we're putting Ubuntu Linux. So you have now your operating system. That's our OS. On top of that, then we need to install other things. This is a web server. For example, here's a website you want to visit. You write www and then you visit the page. There is a request that goes off either through HTTP or HTTPS. It goes to, this is your client. The client makes a request. It goes to a server. Now the server will respond to that. So that response, what's making that connection, the port 443, which is here, HTTPS or other ports, the web server is actually what's responding. For that to happen, we need Apache. In this case, you can have other things like Nginx, but for the LAMP stack, we're using Apache. Now, let's say you are visiting your email account. You need to provide your username and password, or maybe you want to access an account for whatever service you have online. That information, your username, password, should be kept somewhere, and where we keep it is the database. And in this case, MySQL is the relational database we are using. Of course, there are other ones you can use as well. For all this to happen, we need to write this site in a certain way that requests can be responded to and the database can be kept somewhere. How to write that? We need a programming language, and the programming language we need in this case is PHP. You can use Python, you can use Perl, but in this LAMStack we have PHP. So these are the four things on top of the operating system, on top of the physical server. This is your physical server. Here your physical server, and you have your Ubuntu operating system. On top you install Apache, which talks to all these other things. So you have your database, MySQL. You have also your programming language you want to use to build this. So you have this stack together, and they create the LAMStack. Here is our Linux machine. It's Ubuntu. Let's check the IP address it's using and if it can download and get updates online. So here, if we go to, let's maximize this window. Okay, let's see IP address. I have a static IP that I assigned. If you want to see how to assign static IP address, please have a look at the video in this playlist. And now let's check if this can be upgraded, or can we ping online. And let me get the address correctly. So yeah, we're getting responses online. So what we have, it's a machine that can access the internet. So as a best practice, I think your machine needs to be updated, and let's check for that. Apt update. Okay, so it takes a bit of a time to fetch all the updates, and if there's any, I need to update that first. So this says can be upgraded, and that's good. We can now do apt upgrade, and that might take some disk space. It's telling us 893 megabytes. Okay, that's fine. We've got some space, and then we upgrade the machine. So that takes a bit of a time. So I updated and upgraded the machine, so it's all up to date. Now I need to install the first stack. So we have Apache, which is the web server, because we have the operating system already there. And so to do that, we are root user here, and to install it we can say apt install Apache 2, and then we wait for that to complete, and it's telling us how much disk space it needs. So we can accept that, so fine. And then we will need to restart the service, but let's see when it completes. So we have the first part completed. The next thing needs installation and also some configurations. It's your database. You need to really secure it. So we first do some basic security, but before that, let's install it. Let's install apt install, and then we say MySQL, MySQL hyphen server. So apt install MySQL server, that's the command. And then we wait and we say, do you want to continue to install that? It tells us the disk space. Yeah. And then that continues and quickly completes. When that completes, we will do the basic security and we will run a command that gives us some options, what we do with the usernames, passwords, the access remotely, things like that. So let's run this command. It's called MySQL, and then underscore, and then secure underscore installation. That's the basic security you need to do. And then it says, it's asking, validate password. So the strength, the password, the complexity, it says, do you want to validate the password or component? Yes, we're happy with that. So write yes. So we say 2 for strong password. And then it says, remove anonymous users. Yes. So we click yes. And then it says, disallow root login remotely. We don't allow root to log into the database remotely. So we say yes. And then it says remove test database. Of course, yeah, we need to remove that one as well. So click yes. Then reload privileges, privilege tables now. Yes. Now that's all done. Now the last thing we need to install is PHP language, and we can directly download that and install. And then also the modules for Apache, modules for MySQL. We can run one command to do both. So let's say apt install and then say PHP. We directly download that, but the modules we need for Apache and PHP, we can add them here. So library, Apache, Apache 2, then Apache 2 module for PHP, and the MySQL, PHP, MySQL. So we have apt install PHP, Apache module, and the MySQL module. So that will also continue and install. We accept that. Okay, now everything is installed. It's complete. We can reboot the services. We can reboot the whole machine, or we can restart the services. So I prefer to do the reboot for this lab. And then when that completes, we're going to check the services, if they are running, the versions we are running, and then we try to access the page. Okay, I rebooted the server. We now have the complete stack, LAMP stack, which is the Linux, the Ubuntu, which is running here. We install Apache for the web server. We install database. We can access the IP from here. Let's go to terminal and again check. I've shown you the IP address, but just check again. Here's the IP we have, 10.5.5, and if you go to this page and then access the page, it takes us to the default Apache page. Then you can load your configuration file. We're accessing the index. The way to go to those locations, how to check it, I might create a separate video, but for now you have a working site using that for things together, LAMP stack. Thank you for your time and see you in another video.